Right, the quick instructions to use the machine are pretty simple and are as follows. We've got the heat controls here, which are operated by the switches there, and these control the jaws for the end seal and for the rollers underneath the brush there, which are for the fin seal. We have this, which is a speed controller, and that adjusts the speed. That will also govern the minimum speed that the machine will run when you turn it on. The maximum speed is governed in here. So here we've got the computer with various settings in, and I'll write these down on a separate piece of paper for you. But briefly, we have the parameter settings, which tell you the product length, the actual length the machine is pulling as it's working, product numbers, the amount it's wrapped, and various other things. We have the feeding instructions here, which are all the details required to see the various conveyors. Now I'm not sure if you can see that writing on the screen because I'm on the video camera, but they're the settings that we used when you was with us. So if any should get lost, that's what needs to be put back. The parameter settings. If you go onto the display settings there, this position setting here, this 550, let's get rid of that. That 550, that is actually the position of the pins in relation to the product that come down here. So when you're wrapping, when the product's coming down and it goes under here, this sensor will spot the candy and put it in the correct position here. If that position is incorrect, to adjust it, what we do is we just change that figure there by pressing the number, type another number in and press enter, and that will move the position of the pin in relation to the product. You can make a note of that setting, but it varies on different things. If the product's a few millimeters longer or shorter, so it could be different for every product. So there we have the heat control, we have the speed control, we have the isolating control. Here we have the jog button, which will jog the machine. We have the start button, which will start the machine. We have a stop button, and we have an emergency stop button. The emergency stop button, once pressed, will lock in and isolate the whole machine. So if you can't get the machine running for any reason and you can't understand why, just check that and make sure that's not in. Okay. Down here we have this. Basically what that does, it disengages your cutters. So if you run the machine, if we put the machine on run, the machine will, oh sorry, I can't do it because the guard switched up. If I run that, you will see that the cutters aren't running. But if I put that back in and now run it, the cutters are running. This device here is for speeding and slowing down the speed of the cutting jaws there. And what we do, we unlock that, and then that we can turn and reposition this. And basically what this is for is when you change sizes, sometimes you may find that the film is snapping. Sometimes you might find the film is bunching up behind the jaws. Well, what we do, we either speed up or slow down the jaws, and this is the device for doing that. This hand wheel here, this is for changing the position of the pins. So if we rotate the wheel forward or backwards, it will move the pin forward or backwards. So when you wrap the product and you look at the product in the pack, if the product is more to one side, more to the front or more to the back, just turn that wheel round and it will reposition the product in the pack. That's basically the instructions for the working of the machine down there. We do have a beacon there. Now, should that beacon flash, and this is very important, it means that the machine is ready to go and can start at any time. The print registration on the machine, to put the logo in the centre of the pack, is controlled by this. Now, should you have printed film on the machine, the little green mark you can see there, you would move this over so it is over the area where your black mark would be, so as that you can't actually really see it because I'm using plain film, but that green light would look for the little black mark on your film, which would keep it in register. Now, what you have to make sure you do is set the film size between the marks correctly into the machine, and you would set them on the parameter settings on the product length settings, so that setting has to be exact. When you've done that and you run the film, if you find that the logo is keeping in position but it's in the wrong position and you need to move it either forward or backward, you use these buttons here, and you can move the different positions on here, and once you get it centralized, you just leave it that way. And every time you would change from one length to another on printed film, you would also have to change these settings. So here's the printer, self-explanatory. It plugs in on the cables there, and the cables from the machine, which you can see down there, all plug in at the back. You turn the printer on and you set the heat setting. The heat setting works, and basically the ink comes off this carbon roller which fits in there, and you push it in like so, and this roller is where your typeface, where you put the print, where you get a full box of print with it, and that locates in there. You turn it round until it goes into a slot there. Then when you start the machine will index round and it will do one print per pack. Now, if your print doesn't happen to be in the right position on the pack, you can loosen this hand wheel lever here to move the whole unit this way or that way to position the print in that dimension. Or if you want to move the print up and down the pack, we have a print delay here, so by turning the print delay will delay or advance when it prints on the actual pack, so you can move the position of the print basically anywhere.